This video takes you straight into the heart of the 2025 sprint season, where two explosive 100-meter races reveal completely different paths to victory. From the controlled dominance of Akani Simbine against Kishane Thompson in China, to the razor-thin battle where Bednarek edges out a stacked field, including Kerley, this is more than just racing. It's a breakdown of strategy, execution, and pressure. You'll see how different styles, preparation, and race dynamics shape the outcome at the highest level of sprinting.
The longer distances will stand him in good stead, surely, in this Grand Slam. Needs to do go well in this 100, though. Huge reception.
It's going to be hard to compete with this.
Yeah. Oblique Seville. Is he ready? Akeem Blake, another. He's run a 200 already this year, and a new personal best over the longer distance, so that might stand him in good stead here. And then the Liberian, Joseph Fambele, he's going to go in lane 8. Olympic finalist in the last 2 Olympic Games over the 200 meters. So we got Jones in 1, Lindsay in 2, Hughes is in 3. Then in the middle, Bednarek's 4, Kerley right in the middle in 5, Seville in the orange in lane 6. Then Blake, his teammate next to him, and Fambele in lane 8.
Set.
Bednarek gets a good start. Kerley just got left a little bit, also going well as Lindsay over in 2, but it's Bednarek, and then look at Seville right through the middle. Seville is going to just about, no he doesn't, or does he? That is as close as you want to get. Seville has got the tape around his chest, but Bednarek might have hung on to this. We're going to wait for the photo finish. He's got it. Bednarek has been given it. 10.07, 10.08. He got out well, didn't he, Bednarek? And then after that point, Seville comes and he starts to charge through. And then at the end, though, maybe the strength, the 200-meter strength, if that is a factor in the 100. But he stayed strong, he stayed good, and he comes out as the winner. Hughes takes third, 10.13, same time as Blake.
Kenny actually doesn't look happy. He reacted really, really well, but had a stumble that kind of interfered with his acceleration. I know that's what he's thinking about. And when that happened, you could see the Jamaicans kind of move through him in the acceleration phase. But with that 100-meter or 200-meter strength, I mean, someone like that's going to come through at the end. Fairly even reaction-wise, but as you can see here, kind of lost his footing in that acceleration. Now you can see him fighting to get back in. He's definitely not going to be pleased with that, but if you're just faster than everyone else, if you're able to relax, you'll get back into the race. Yo, it was a lot closer to that replay than I thought. As we've seen the rail cam here, you can see in the acceleration phase, Akeem Blake moving through a lot faster. An oblique coming through in the latter part of the race. He probably thought that he had it. Battle of the headbands coming through at the end. But Kenny did come through with the tape to secure that 100 meters. For him, going into the deuce, that's huge. So,
yeah, that's significant, isn't it? He takes 100. Kerley, nowhere really. We said that 10.2 clocking. He was even slow at 10.3. This was into a headwind, incidentally, minus 1.3. Not as windy as it was earlier in the evening, but that really means...
Kachao, and largely the same lineup as we had in Xiamen, plus the addition of Kishane Thompson, who's starting his outdoor season here in China. Rohan Watson from Jamaica goes in lane 1, 5th at the World Indoors in Nanjing, in lane 1 for the 2nd week running. Emmanuel Isemi from Cameroon, the African number 2, goes in lane 2. Letsidi Toboko was disappointed maybe with 10.2 last weekend, but he is still building speed and sharpness after the 400 meters in the first few events of this year, building his endurance. He's still working on speed. Now, Kishane Thompson, Olympic silver medalist in Paris, of course, in the closest Olympic final in history. 5 thousandths of a second He doesn't race very often. The fact that he's made the long trip suggests to me that he fancies his chances. And he'll have to be in form against the man in form, Akani Simbine. 2 out of 2 outdoors so far. Brilliant in Xiamen last weekend. His acceleration in the final 30 was very impressive. Christian Coleman, the indoor specialist, of course, over 60 metres, got a great start last weekend, but couldn't quite finish it and ended up in 4th place. He's in lane 6. Ferdinand Omanyala, also a great starter, powerful, the reigning African champion. 2nd behind Simbine last weekend. What can he do here in Kerchao? Jeremiah Azu, European world indoor champion, very relaxed, hitting all the right notes at the moment, enjoying his athletics back with his original former coach, Helen James. And Xie Junye gets a great reception from the crowd for China in lane 9, 3 times a 4th place at the world indoors. But the question is, Kishane Thompson, having made that long journey, what sort of shape is he in? Well, the early signs are good. There he is, right of picture. Ran 6:48 into a headwind outdoors and then 6:56 indoors over 60 metres. So the omens are good. He's got a fantastic start and a great finish as well. So the big names: Teboho in 3, Botswana; Kishane Thompson in 4; Simbine in the red, the man in form here, in 5; Coleman in 6; Omanyala 7; Azu in lane 8. Men's 100 metres. Great start from Simbine, also going well is Teboho. He's made a good running as well. Azu's got a little bit of work to do. Thompson coming through, Simbine tracking him all the way. Who's going to get there? Oh, I think it's Simbine on the line, on the dip. The two share a moment. They both fall clear. Thompson was ahead with what, 5-10 metres to go, just. But did Simbine come back to just get him on the line? Yes, he did. 9:98. It's 3 from 3 outdoors for Simbine. And surely now we have to say he is the man to beat in 2025 so far. He's put together a brilliant sequence. Thompson in his first race stole a march, but was pipped on the line, and Teboho with an improved performance from last week. We talked about his sharpness and speed getting better and better. There's the top 3: Simbine, Thompson and Teboho.
Great start from all 3 of those men that ended up in the eventual 3. Teboho, that was much, much better than we saw in Xiamen last week. Now, at this point, Thompson, he just tightened up for me. He just forced it ever so slightly. And Simbine just stayed relaxed. Look at the South African here. He is straining. He's working hard. But he's... See, look at this front on picture here. Thompson just rocking and rolling side to side. Simbine almost focusing all that desire straight forward, and he just gets there ahead of Thompson. And Teboho, for me, it was a bit of a wry smile at some point over that finish line we saw in one of the shots, to just saying, all right, that's more like it. That felt good. So great to see Teboho so close to 10 seconds. Yeah,
10.2 becomes 10.03. That is improvement. There was no sense of panic from Teboho in the press conference yesterday. Long season ahead. You'll hear us and the athletes say that time and time again. Let's look at it again, though. This is a high-quality field, no doubt about it. We've got Azu there, second left from picture, who faded a little bit. But Thompson, an absolute class act at this stage. He thinks he's got it, but you're right. He starts to tighten up, and look at how relaxed, relatively, Simbine is.
The 2025 sprint season is rapidly turning into one of the most competitive and unpredictable in recent memory. And 2 standout 100-meter races, one from the Diamond League stop in China and the other from the Racers Grand Slam, perfectly capture the evolving landscape of men's sprinting. While both races featured elite-level fields and world-class names, they revealed very different dynamics in how victories are achieved at the highest level. In China, the spotlight was firmly on the clash between Akani Simbine and Kishane Thompson, 2 athletes representing contrasting approaches to the 100 meters. Thompson entered the race with enormous anticipation. As the Olympic silver medalist from Paris, where the final margins were historically tight, He carried the aura of a sprinter capable of producing something extraordinary at any moment. His preparation only fueled that narrative. Impressive 60-meter performances, including a wind-resistant 6.48 outdoors, suggested that he was in exceptional shape, despite this being his seasonal debut. However, the race itself told a different story. Simbine, known for his consistency and technical precision, executed a near-perfect race. His start was clean, his transition phase smooth, and his top-end speed controlled yet effective. While Thompson showed flashes of his explosive potential, particularly in the early acceleration phase, he lacked the race sharpness needed to sustain that momentum through the final meters. The result was decisive. Simbine didn't just win, he asserted control, exposing the gap between raw potential and race-ready execution. It was a reminder that in the 100 meters, preparation is only part of the equation. Timing and competitive rhythm are just as critical. In contrast, the Racers Grand Slam event delivered a completely different type of race, one defined by depth, chaos, and razor-thin margins. Here, the narrative wasn't centered on a single head-to-head duel, but rather on a tightly packed field where multiple athletes had a legitimate shot at victory. Names like Fred Kerley, Oblique Seville, and Akeem Blake ensured that no margin for error existed. Amid this intensity, it was Kenny Bednarek who emerged on top, clocking 10.07 seconds in a finish that highlighted just how competitive the race was. Unlike Simbine's controlled dominance in China, Bednarek's victory was built on composure under pressure. His start was not the most explosive, but his ability to maintain form and gradually build speed through the latter half of the race proved decisive. In a field where every athlete was within striking distance, his efficiency and balance in the final meters made the difference. Comparing these two races reveals a fascinating contrast in sprinting narratives. The Diamond League race in China emphasized structure and execution, a seasoned athlete delivering a polished performance against a rival still finding his competitive rhythm. Meanwhile, the Racers Grand Slam showcased the unpredictability of sprinting, where even the smallest technical advantage can separate first from sixth place in a matter of milliseconds. It also highlights different types of dominance. Simbine's win was authoritative, built on experience and consistency, reinforcing his reputation as one of the most reliable performers in global sprinting. Bednarek's victory, on the other hand, was opportunistic and tactical, demonstrating his growing maturity and ability to navigate high-pressure fields. Ultimately, both races underline a key truth about the modern 100 meters. There is no single path to victory. Whether it's the calculated precision of an experienced sprinter or the resilience required to survive a stacked field, success depends on adapting to the specific demands of each race. And as the 2025 season progresses, these contrasting performances suggest that the battle for sprint supremacy is far from settled.